I'm in the middle of rebuilding my 2013 Soma Juice single speed. Now, one of the limitations with this frame is, as you can see, it only accepts a fork with a straight steerer tube. Now that in itself isn't such a bad thing, but it does translate to the fact that when I was putting this together, I couldn't find a 29er fork that had both the straight steerer tube and a through axle option. So if I wanted the straight steerer tube, which I had to have for the frame, then I was left with a standard quick release dropout like this. As you can see, I've got a standard camshaft quick release skewer. It's a nice one. I mean, it's a nice old school Shimano XTR skewer, but it's not as stiff as your through axle designs. So there's a few options available if you're in this situation and you wanted to try and stiffen up the front end a little bit. DT Swiss make a system of skewers called the RWS, the ratchet wheel system. This one here is a straight replacement for your standard cam style quick release skewer. It's a titanium skewer, but instead of a cam style, it just ratchets on like that. I'll quickly show you how that works. So straight on there, and it's just a finger nut to tighten it up. And once you get your tension right, once you come up to sort of your tension, you use this lever to tighten it up, but then obviously you can't go any further. But so what it does is pulls off the nut, back down, back on the nut, and then up again, and you just keep going until you've got enough pressure on it, and just pull it out and sit it where you want to sit it. And so apparently that can get a bit more clamping force than your standard cam style quick release skewer. Now, if you've got a keen eye, you'll notice that I'm running a Hope Pro 4 hub, and the DT Swiss system actually takes this through axle compromise a little bit further, takes it one step further. Hope hubs, they're quite cool because you can just swap out this bit for different axle styles. So if you are running a fork with, say, a 15mm through axle, you can buy a 15mm adapter to swap out here, and then away you go with the same hub. Don't need to rebuild your wheel. In this situation, we're still dealing with a standard quick release dropout on the fork. So these are a 10mm adapter, and this is the DT Swiss RWS skewer for a 10mm through axle to be used with a quick release dropout fork. So if you've never seen this before, it's actually quite cool. This part here of the hub, you can just kind of grab it and it'll pull straight out like that. And then you get your new component, in this case the 10mm, and it's just a matter of popping it in like that. And we'll do the other side, and then I'll show you how the through axle mounts up to the fork. So just to show you side by side, here we've got the standard quick release skewer versus the 10mm through axle version. Heaps thicker, and so hopefully heaps stiffer on the front end of the bike. Alright, well, we mount it up. As you can see here on the fork, it still fits into the dropouts, so you don't have to sort of put the wheel in and then feed it through like you do with the standard through axle. So we can get it on the wheel and then pop it up into the dropouts and tighten it up as we did with the previous skewer. So that's it. That's the DT Swiss RWS system that works with the compatible axle stubs for the Hope Pro 4 hubs. If you hadn't seen that in action before like me, and you're kind of wondering how the hell you swapped out the axle stubs, then I hope that's demonstrated it pretty clearly. And if you're running an older frame with a fork with a standard quick release dropout rather than a through axle, then and you're looking for a way of stiffening up the front end a bit, then I hope this sort of helps you make your decision.